Hi, my name is Nick, and I'm starting a web series called America Through the Eyes of a 25-Year-Old Kid, where for each episode I'm going to talk about a controversy or something that's going on in America today. And with today, I would like to talk about guns and weapons. Before I get into today, I'd like to go back about 250 years ago or so when America gained its independence. And on that day, July 4th, 1776, our forefathers signed the greatest document to ever be signed in the history of the United States, and that was the Declaration of Independence. And that was what gave America our freedom. And in that declaration, there was 10 amendments called the Bill of Rights, and those are the most important amendments, the most important rights of Americans to have. And aside from free speech, our forefathers believed that the right to bear arms was the most important right an American could have. And that amendment goes like this: a well regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And that basically means that no matter what, we as Americans have the right to own a weapon, to own a firearm, and to have it as security in our own house. And that cannot be infringed on by anyone, including the government. And so one might say that that amendment makes guns, weapons, one of the backbones of this country, something that built this country. It was the second most important thing to our forefathers, and somehow we're losing sight of that today, 250 years later. And with that, our government today is trying to infringe on our right as Americans to take away our firearms. They believe that firearms, that guns, are what is producing these murders, these mass killings that we hear about day in and day out. And that simply just isn't true. A gun cannot walk down the street and pull its own trigger and kill someone. That's like me saying that my dog has a treat in the living room that he's not supposed to have, and I'm thinking that, oh, that treat must have jumped out of its bucket, walked over to my dog, and presented itself to my dog. That sounds absurd to me. It sounds absurd to you, and that's the same thing that is happening with weapons. A weapon cannot just fire itself. And with that, our government is trying to say that that is the reason, and they're trying to infringe upon our right as Americans to take those weapons away from us. And that is just not fair. For all the shootings that have been happening, let's just take, the Newton school shooting. And my heart and soul goes out to all those victims, to all those families. They're in my prayers every day. And it was a terrible, terrible tragedy, and no one ever wants something like that to happen. But to say that the reason that happened was because of a gun just simply isn't the right thing to say. What if we said that if a teacher in the school had a weapon or had a gun and they prevented this from happening, then what would we be saying? We would be saying that, oh, a gun saved the life of countless number of children. I mean, we have no idea if this would have ended before it started, how many lives were saved. And that leads me to say that, all of these shootings that we hear about, the Connecticut, the Newton school shootings, and the last two, theater massacres, the one in Colorado and the one in Louisiana, all these shootings happen in a gun-free zone. And these happen there because the evil person that's going to do this, that's going to kill these people, know that they're going to be able to get away with this without anything happening to them, at least for the time being. They know they're going to be safe from harm because these places are gun free and no one's going to be able to do anything about them. As long as they keep their distance, they can do whatever they want and then just run for their lives and maybe even get away. And I don't think that that's right. People should be able to carry a weapon wherever they are, whether it be in a school or in a theater or in a mall or anywhere. They should have the right to be able to carry a weapon to put the fear into someone that's thinking about committing a crime such as these that we've heard of. if one of these people, second thought what they were going to do and changed their mind because they said, "Oh, well, maybe one of the teachers has a gun and I might not be able to do this." That's 20, 21, 22, 23 lives saved because we made them second guess. And by eliminating guns completely, that's inviting the criminal, inviting the evil people to just come in and do whatever they want because they're not going to stop finding a way to get guns. The criminal isn't going to stop. To me, eliminating guns only hurts the innocent because the innocent aren't going to be able to get them and they're not going to break the law in order to get them. The criminal still will. So by eliminating guns, you're eliminating the security of a man's house, his ability to defend his family. And by doing this, by trying to eliminate guns, you're going to make three types of people very, very upset. And the first type of people are the ones that use guns and weapons for recreation, for sport. The ones that go out and shoot in their backyard or go to ranges and shoot for fun or shoot at, clay pigeons, things like that. Those people are going to get angry because you're going to take away what they find enjoyable, what they believe, is their fun, which that lets them get their stress out. And by taking that away from them, you're going to make a lot of people mad. There's hundreds of millions of people in this country that own guns. And by taking that away from them, by taking their joy away from them, you're only going to make more people angry. The second group of people that you're going to make mad are the ones who use guns for food, for hunting. They go out, they enjoy tracking animals, they enjoy finding meat, providing for their family. To them, it's like living back when our forefathers lived. Our forefathers needed weapons to survive. They needed to kill animals. They needed to eat. And this brings us back to that time by, making it more difficult yet more fun to provide for our family. Instead of just going to the grocery store, we go out and we spend hours, days tracking an animal, trying to find something to feed our family. And for people, that's fun. And if you're going to take that away from them, that's another group of people that you're just going to make mad. And probably the third group of people you're going to make mad, and probably the most important, are the people that use weapons for security, for safety, for defense of their own home. I know that I will own a weapon in order to defend my family, to protect my family from intruders, from anything that might happen. And by taking that away from someone, anyone, whether it be a man or a woman or a child, taking that away from them and not allowing them to defend themselves by just saying, allowing someone to come into their house and say, yeah, come on in. I don't have anything to defend myself with. You can do what you want. To me, that's just wrong. Let alone making people mad or angry, that's just wrong. And by taking away a man's defense of his own family is is just going to make him feel like he can't do anything and make him feel like less of a man. So, in the end, you're going to make mad more people than you're going to make happy by doing this. And gun ownership should be promoted, it should be encouraged. More people should own weapons, at least for anything, for safety, for defense of their own family, for security of their own house, so that they can put fear into people and so that people think that if I go into this house, I may lose my life today. That's what we should be doing. We should be encouraging gun ownership and letting people know that we back the hundreds of millions of people who aren't going to do anything bad with a gun ever, except to kill that person that's coming to get them and their family. So before I wrap up, I'd like to show you one thing. The entire time I've been sitting here, this has been pointed at me. And as you can see, I'm still here. I'm not dead. I haven't been shot. I'm not in the hospital. And it just goes to say that a gun can't load itself, can't cock itself, and can't shoot itself. So those of you that think that it's guns that are doing everything that's happening in this country today, you're wrong. So thank you all for listening, and I look forward to presenting more videos to you in the future. If you have any comments, questions, anything, leave them below, and I'll be sure to get to them when I can. Again, thank you for listening, and my name's Nick Habine, and I'd like to run for president in 2024.